Well, good morning, everybody. Nice and chilly out this morning. We're gonna go grab a little workout real quick. This video is sponsored by AG1. Let's go work out. I'm looking forward to when we get the inside of this building finished up with the tin. That way we can get what's inside those boxes right there. That is a tube radiant heater. It'll be hanging from the ceiling. But then we will not have the water condensation that the furnace up there currently does, because every day you come out, you got a 5-gallon bucket full of water. It makes a big old mess. Today I'm going to do some practicing on the one-handed chin-up, some squats. We'll do some regular old-fashioned pull-ups, the overhead press, and we always do our push-ups. Growing up, I played all the sports, did all the activities, and so I was always training to do something, and now that I'm out of sports and activities, I occasionally arm wrestle every now and again, but other than that, I don't really have anything to train for, so my ideas behind my training have kind of changed. They're more for I want to have a lot of energy, I want to stay strong, and I want to feel good. I don't want to be achy, and I don't want something that takes up a ton of my time, and I just want it to be simple. My favorite exercise is the weighted pull-up. You just grab your little chain belt, and you get whatever weights you want to hang from your waist. We always jump up on the bar and pull ourselves up. And I don't care what anyone says, these are hard, so if you can't do many, don't feel bad, they're tough. If you can do one, great. If you can do 30, great. Just try. And then between those movements, I just do push-ups as my resting time. And then I hit my back, I hit my front, and I hit my legs. Just like I like to keep my workout simple, I like to keep what I put into my body really simple, and that's why I drink AG1. It's got 75 ingredients in it, a bunch of vitamins, minerals, probiotics, adaptogens. It's whole food based, it's actually real stuff. I store the powder in my refrigerator to keep it from going bad. Since it's just one thing, I just mix it with the water that I'm gonna be drinking while I exercise anyway, because I always drink water while I'm exercising. I never forget to take it. I get all these vitamins and minerals without having to take like 2 handfuls of pills every day that everybody forgets to take and taste absolutely disgusting, because this is actually pretty good. It tastes like a half-chewed gumbo. I'm extremely picky about what I put inside of my body because I want what goes inside of me to make me feel good. And by feel good, I mean it needs to keep me focused, it needs to keep me alert, it needs to keep me healthy. And those things are exactly what AG1 helps support my body with. The vitamins and minerals support the recovery of my body from these strenuous workouts, and they also support the focus and alertness going on in my brain. I'm extremely thankful for the vitamin C and zinc inside of this because it helps support my immune system and it helps my body fight off sicknesses that are trying to make me sniffly. If you want to try some AG1, go to athleticgreens.com/coldcornstar to get started on your order. Athletic Greens is going to give my community a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. At the beginning of every year, I do an entire farm audit. I go through all the financial information that our farm has gone through over the last 12 months. So I got binders on binders on binders. What I want to see, how is our farm doing as a collective whole? And then how are the farms doing on an individual basis? Did the fertilizer spreader guys put on what they actually said they put on? We're gonna audit that. Did the sprayer delivery people deliver actually what they say they delivered? We're gonna audit that. And then once we decipher all of this information, we're gonna compile it into computable data that we actually understand. And then we're gonna be able to say, okay, what do we project that the next year is going to look like based off last year's data? And then it's just gonna give us a forecast of what's to come for farming for 2023. It's gonna take me a little bit to put this information together, so enjoy detention with Dad.
Hey, give me my glove back. Hey, Ellie, you got my glove. Ellie, come here. Takes about 8 minutes to load a little over 1,000 bushels. I like to empty out the auger so it starts empty. Okay, now Trey, Cooper's got some hay sold, so he's gonna deliver some hay. And then as soon as Cooper gets done delivering hay this morning, We got to jump in Cole's pickup and we got to go off and dig a cremation grave this morning. So we're going to be kind of jumping around a little bit. Get up here is where you want to be really careful because you're walking on a conveyor. Oh shoot, I suppose. Looks like we got Cody coming in, and then behind him we got Cooper coming in. We got a cremation burial today. We got to dig. It's been pretty gosh cold out the last couple weeks. We had about a week of real bad wind, real cold weather. But with the snow on here, I think we'll be fine. We're going to use a pulse hole digger on the skid loader, so let's bring her around. We'll give it a try, but it shouldn't be hard at all.
That binder's been sorted, that one's been sorted, that one's been sorted, and I was going through this one when I noticed something very interesting. So these are the summary sheets we get when we get our fertilizer spread or lime or something. But basically, it tells you the farm and then how much stuff got put on it and what the rates were and yada yada. This is the planter map for the field just west of Dad's house. And if we look down below, it's 96.47 acres. And don't mind the name, I was trying to clear stuff up in the software and it didn't work. 96.47 acres. The same farm on the lime summary sheet says 105 acres. That's like an 8.5 acre difference of what our planter says. So I thought, well, maybe they just spread through all those waterways, even though literally like from right there down, you can't cross through. So I asked for the as applied maps from the fertilizer spread. This shows the exact paths that it went across the field. So we definitely did not go through those waterways. So what I did is I took all the acres that these summary sheets say, and I put them in this left column. So this is everything that's purported on these summary sheets. And then this right column is what our GPS says the field was based off the planting maps. And then I just subtracted them. So these are the differences, the discrepancies on each farm. That farm is almost 18.5 acres difference. That one's almost 17. So it comes out to we are being overcharged for 74.79 acres. 75 acres at $8.25 an acre. That's over $600 mistake that I noticed. And also, looking at that $8.25 an acre, when we started, since we were going to be doing all of our dry fertilizer as well as our lime spreading through them, they were going to give us a discount, and they said it would be $7.25 an acre. So we'll take that across 2,000 acres, so that's another $2,000 savings. And then on our Pell Lime acres, they said they'd even give us a better deal because their spreaders were already down here, and so that was another $1 an acre off. So I discovered we basically saved like $4,000 something. And not only that, on the lime acres, those were off by 49 acres. So we'll get another 49 acres at $6.25 off. So that was a good use of my time. I got a hold of Jamie and Nate, the guys we bought this stuff from, to figure out, okay guys, like we got some explaining to do here. And I understand where they're coming from. What they do is they take a satellite image of the field and then they circle it with satellite imagery, and then that tells how many acres it is instead of what the spreader is doing, which in my mind you should go off what the spreader is doing. But if you're doing a variable rate application like we are, then some spots don't get anything at all, and then it doesn't mark anything down on the monitor. So I understand they're just doing, because otherwise they'd have to boundary the entire field. The kind of frustrating part is these numbers have been wrong on our farm for quite a few years, so we've probably been overpaying by like $500 a year on application fees. I would not have known unless I would have gone into this auditing thing. So I missed it in before years because I didn't even think about doing it, but this year it just caught my eye because on one of the farms we were farming like 3 acres less of it now than we were before because they put in an area for horses. And I noticed that farm was way off. And so that kind of sparked my curiosity in the situation. So we're going to make it right with us. But we discovered they've been taking money from us all these years and we didn't even know it.
Cooper's been home while I've been off covering a grave, but he welded a whole bunch of teeth. They're gonna go in here. We got a whole bunch yet to take out. I think Cooper said we had 150 yet to take out. These are the new ones. Kind of messy. Get it? We really need to change oil in the JCB. What the heck? Oh, it's got a lot of oil in there. Wow. That track feels a little loose. We're out of grease now. Try it.
I think we got it done. We have good news on the corn side of things. Every single one of our cornfields showed a profit, with the most profitable being Tabletop, then Rusty's, Bill's, Melvin's, Campground, Mary Lou's, Carol's, and then Winona's. On the soybean side of things, some fields looked really good, and some, let's just say, we want to do better. Our most profitable was Grandpa's, then Uncle Orland's, then the field west of Dad's house, the Bush farm, Dad's house, the Hanson farm, the North farm, and then Zach's. Number 7 and number 8 actually showed a negative for us this year. So we lost money by farming the North farm as well as Zach's. And then the 3 farms above those just barely squeaked by on being profitable. Even though we have high prices, we lost money on a couple farms and we barely made money on a few, and that's because they didn't yield very well. Something happened on those, I don't know what, but they just did not yield good. So that just shows, even though we have good prices, when our inputs are way up here and then we have a yield that comes in down here, we can still go underneath on those. So on the farms that we did make money on, those are basically robbing Peter to pay Paul to keep our head above the water on those specific ones. So we're gonna try to figure out what went wrong on those. Sometimes things are just out of our hands, but we don't want that to happen often. It's going to happen. I'm sure it will happen again, but we want to do everything in our power to control the controllables, make sure that doesn't happen. But just because prices are really high, just remember everything else is really high with it. So let's say we lock in stuff at a really high input price, and then what if prices drop way down and then we also don't get the yield? And that's when stuff can get scary. So that's why we need to be really careful with what we're doing, and we need to be able to put a lot of information and data into our decisions so that way we're making good ones. For the 2023 projections, I got everything all ready to rock and roll. I am just waiting on our 2023 chemical quotes to come back in, so that way we'll know we'll be paying for chemistry. Once we have that, we'll have all the projections done, and then we're done with office stuff. I even got all of our taxes done, so look at me go. We're ahead of schedule.